So the Indiana Pacers acquired some pretty interesting players this season through the trade deadline, including players such as Tyrese Halliburton, Jalen Smith, who's one of my favorite players on this team, and Buddy Hield, who is the focus of this video. Hield has been very interesting for this team, and his future is a huge question mark, as his contract and his age can be seen as both huge negatives for this team. And today we're going to break it down talking about Buddy Hield and his future moving on with the Indiana Pacers. Before we get into the video, I'd appreciate if you guys drop a like, subscribe to the channel. We are trying to grow this channel out to other Pacers fans. I appreciate all the support lately. You got one of my videos to like 700 views, I think, and I didn't really expect this channel to get any views, with the Pacers being pretty horrible. But, you guys have been loving the content, so we'll keep grinding out these videos. We got a Buddy Hield video for you guys. If you like the video, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into it. So, majority of the NBA fans know what Buddy Hield is capable of, as he's one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA, and in my opinion, one of the most underrated players I've seen recently. With the Pacers, he's averaging around 18 points per game, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. His rebounding and his assists are all career highs, which is pretty impressive, as he's only known to shoot the ball in his career. Obviously, he's like one of the best three-point shooters behind, Steph Curry. I mean, basically, I think he's honestly the second best three-point shooter in the NBA right now. Not taking that too, seriously, but I'm just saying in general, he could be a top 3, top 2 player right now in terms of three-point shooting. So his points per game is the third highest in his career with the Pacers, and is averaging a career best 36 minutes played per game. Hield has been nothing short of amazing for this Pacers team, and quite honestly, he's been impressing me a lot. I mean, since coming to the Pacers, I didn't really watch him on the Kings, but now he's on the Pacers. I've been watching them a lot more, and he's been pretty impressive. With Malcolm Brogdon and TJ McConnell out, he's been handling the ball, being a lot more on ball. And with that duty right now and his role, I think it could be pretty interesting moving forward with him alongside Tyrese Halliburton. So shooting splits have been pretty great too. He's been shooting 44% from the field and 36% from the three. His three-point shooting has definitely taken a dip, as this is the lowest in his career, but he's been able to convert on most of his shots with 44% from the field. So that's pretty great to see. Hield, I've watched a lot of games where he's been pretty much off from the three, which is his strong suit right there. But if he isn't shooting the three ball, then he could, drive into the lane, get a layup, play off ball, and that's pretty much an underrated part of his game, is that he's able to run off ball. So it's also worth noting that he is shooting a career best from the free throw line at around 89%, which is a great sign. But he has completely transformed his game since coming to the Pacers, and has become more of a facilitator in the absence of Malcolm Brogdon and TJ McConnell, both of them being, very injury prone. I think Malcolm Brogdon is out tonight versus the Atlanta Hawks. It's been pretty horrible. Our point guard position, it's definitely in jeopardy. We got Dwayne Washington, but he's nothing more than a role player. It's still pretty impressive, but off the bench, he pretty much serves that purpose. Other than that, TJ McConnell hasn't played in a while. It's been pretty horrible. So with Buddy Hield there alongside Halliburton, Duarte is also injured too, who could, play on ball, be the ball handler, but he hasn't been healthy in the last few weeks. So with Halliburton there, he doesn't really have anyone to bounce the ball to or have someone else run the offense, and that's what Buddy Hield's there for, and he's definitely transformed his game coming to the Pacers. So Buddy Hield's strength comes from shooting, specifically from the three, but also being able to finish around the rim occasionally. His playmaking and his rebounding also have been improved, but it's still pretty much average in those categories. And as a whole, Hield is pretty great for any team, and especially for contenders like the Lakers. I know they were linked to Buddy Hield in the offseason, but didn't pursue him. And that's a pretty questionable move now, because with the Lakers and their floor spacing, it doesn't make any sense why they didn't go for him. So, Buddy Hield as a whole, what team wouldn't want him? Somebody that can shoot the three at a pretty high clip, but also being able to finish on the rim and also have some good playmaking duties and, pretty great rebounding. So, but there are some concerns with him, obviously. His age and his contract may make teams want to avoid him in the future. Hield is 29 years old. He was the 6th pick in the 2016 NBA draft. I actually didn't even know Buddy Hield was this old. I thought he was a little bit younger, maybe like a 26 or 27, but looking at it, being 29 years old is actually very, very bad for the Pacers, because if no teams want to bite on a Buddy Hield trade, then I'm not too sure what's going to be happening with him in the future for Buddy Hield and the Pacers. So Hield is 29, which isn't all that old, but he is approaching the 30-year-old mark in December. So that's something to monitor right there. He also isn't someone you can rely on in the crunch, as he's someone that's going to be horrible from the field sometimes, but also he can have some pretty great games. So Hield will either be pretty great from the field or, shoot pretty poorly. There's no in between at all. He's going to be pretty bad or pretty great. It just depends on what happens during the game. But also his contract is something that is pretty much the biggest issue for him. He's on a 4-year, $94 million contract extension. He signed that with the Kings in 2019. He's locked up until 2023, so around 3 more seasons, and he's averaging around $20 million per season. So yeah, he's on a fat contract, and teams may not be willing to take on his contract. His contract is pretty huge for someone that's, pretty subpar and his abilities. I think Buddy Hield, he could be a great role player moving forward, with any team. But I believe Buddy Hield would be a pretty great role player moving forward, but he may be stuck on the Pacers for the foreseeable future. Honestly, with Tyrese Halliburton here being the future, Chris Duarte being a great pairing alongside Halliburton, I think Buddy Hield, if we do get the right pieces in the offseason and build around this culture, I think he could be a good role player for this team. But that $20 million, man, I mean, it's going to be a fat contract. I'm not too sure what's going to be happening with Buddy Hield. But if we do decide to keep him, we do get some good three-point shooting and someone that can at least run the three and possibly come off the bench too. So to be quite frank, I didn't really think Buddy Hield would be that great of a player for this team. To be quite frank, I didn't think Buddy Hield would be a great fit for this team. In fact, I didn't think we should have kept him at all. But then I realized if the Pacers retool in the offseason and get the right players, then I think we could be a great team, build around Halliburton, build around Hield, build around, not Malcolm Brogdon, build around Tyrese Halliburton, build around Chris Duarte, Miles Turner. We got all these guys, and then maybe bring back TJ Warren. I think come 2 to 3 years, we could be a good playoff team. And Buddy Hield could serve as a great role player for this team if they are in playoff contention in the near future. And I can't really stress this enough of how important it is for the Pacers to land within the top 3 and the top 4, either one. They really do need all the help they can get. If they can get Paolo Banchero, Jabari Smith, Chet Holmgren, either one, even Jaden Ivey, maybe trade Malcolm Brogdon and their pick to move up. I'm not too sure even if they could do that at all. It depends on what pick they land, but if they can get within the top 3 or the top 4, Paolo Banchero is probably the most optimal for that team. Jabari Smith would be pretty cool too. I'm not too sure. Even AJ Griffin, I guess. I'm not too sure if he's going to go that high. Keegan Murray. There's a lot of guys in the top 5 that could be great, but aren't on the level of Paolo Banchero, Chet Holmgren, and Jabari Smith. So if they can land within the top 3, even top 2, then I would be all for it. So yeah, that's my take on Buddy Hield on the future with the Pacers. You guys can let me know if you guys want him in the near future and see where his future is with the Pacers moving forward. But that's the new video. My name is Pacers Empire, and I'm out. Peace.